Fox Sports.
We are the Fourth. We are South.
Another perfect day for baseball in Chicago as we join you from the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Unfortunately for the Braves, it hasn't been so friendly. The Cubs have won the first 2 games of the series. The Braves have not yet won on the road trip. Hopefully that will change as Jace Peterson and the Braves, behind Andrelton Simmons and Williams Perez, will try to slow down this Cubs juggernaut, a club that's making a big push for a postseason berth. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome back to Wrigley Field. Time for the Braves offense to step up. Time for the Braves pitching to step up. Big matchup today. Williams Perez for the Braves. Dan Herron gets the ball for the Cubs.
Yeah, the Braves made 2 errors yesterday, too, so not much is working well on this road trip. Williams Perez, since he came back from the disabled list, has had a real hard time of it. He's lost 4 in a row. That makes his season record 4-4 with an ERA of 4.34. The numbers on that DL stint not very good and a high average against him. Dan Herron, as Chip said, came over from the Marlins. This season he's 8-8. He's made 3 starts with the Cubs, another 500 record, 1-1. This guy's given up more home runs than anyone in the National League. Coincidentally, the Braves don't hit many home runs, so something's got to give today. And in this series, already in 2 games, the Cubs have pounded out 8 extra base hits, the Braves only 2, and they were both doubles. Get the offense going.
So as we learned earlier this week, the word for the week, dichotomy. An interesting one in Game 3 of this series. It's the Braves and the Cubs. A perfect day for a ball game. We'll see if the Braves get the win column next, right after this.
Right stuff, low price, every day.
Perfect afternoon on Chicago's north side. Nick Markakis leads off our Academy Sports and Outdoors starting nine. We'll get our first look at Nick Swisher in the outfield. He'll bat sixth and play left. Dan Herron's on the mound for the Cubs. Not an unfamiliar face for the Braves offense.
Not at all. 34 years old, 6'5", 215. His career numbers against the Braves in 11 games, 7-2, a 4.29 ERA. That includes a start back in April on Tax Day. 7 innings. He only gave up 2 runs to the Braves and beat them 6-2. He's 8-8 on the year, 1-1 with the Cubs. He makes a lot of mistakes with his breaking ball and changeup, hence 27 home runs this year, the most in the National League allowed.
But a perfect day to pitch if you're a fly ball pitcher. The wind's blowing in today at Wrigley Field. So we'll see what effect that has on Dan Herron and this Braves offense. An offense that has really struggled on the road trip. The Braves have lost all 5 games they've played so far in San Diego and here in Chicago, and they've scored a grand total of 9 runs. That's Bill Miller, the home plate umpire. Last minute adjustment to his mask, and he is ready to go. So's Nick Markakis, batting .298. 46 RBIs. And the first pitch popped up. Russell at short, drifts out and makes the grab in shallow left. 1 pitch and 1 out. Cubs got Dan Herron from the Marlins on July 31st. Lost his last start against the White Sox, gave up 3 solo homers to the Cubs rivals on the south side of town. And on an 81-degree day, he delivers a strike to Cameron Maybin. 0-1 for the Braves center fielder.
He only gave up 3 hits to the Braves in April, and 2 of those were homers. 1 to this guy and 1 to Kelly Johnson.
Well, he really fills a need for this Cubs ball club. They like the top of the rotation with Arrieta and John Lester. His ball's popped up. Rizzo gives chase over near the Braves bullpen. Soler can't get there either. Count 0-2. Cubs have used 5 different number 5 starters this year. 5 of them. And what they like about Herron is his durability. Takes the ball every 5th day, and he's very consistent. Joe Maddon's Cubs 69-51 on the year. They're 7.5 games out of the Central League. They're only 3 games behind the Pirates for the top wild card in the National League. They play the Pirates 6 more times before the end of the season. Same story with the Cardinals.
Well, they're playing good baseball right now. I know they got thumped by the Tigers, who came into town and snuck up on them and really wailed on them offensively. But the bottom line is they've won 11 out of 14 and 17 out of 21. And they're doing a lot of it with offense.
Spoiled that pitch and stayed alive. It's still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cameron has a couple of hits in this series. Ought to have 3. Great catch by Dexter Fowler. Robbed him yesterday. Braves had a 3-1 lead behind Shelby Miller. Couldn't hold it and lost 5-3. It's bounced foul to the Cubs dugout.
Each looked like it was going to go to the ivy. Great break. Perfectly timed jump by Fowler.
So good at bat for Cameron Maybin after Markakis popped up on the first pitch. Cameron will see a 9th pitch in his sequence with right-hander Dan Herron.
Interesting, Chip, after all that discussion we had yesterday about how wet and soft that area was in front of home plate. It's dry today.
Swing and a miss. Maybin's retired.
I don't know if that's because of the difference in pitchers with Dan Herron pitching. Good sharp slider / cutter off the outside part of the plate. but interesting to see that that's all dry today.
Yeah, if Aaron doesn't ever get the ball on the ground, why waste the water?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
A strike for Freddie Freeman. He's 3 for 9 in the series. RBI. Shift on for him, and Aaron missed inside. Right into the shift. Herron got a ground ball out. That's news. 3 up, 3 down in the first. Williams Perez goes to work next. See if Williams Perez can rediscover the form that was so exciting before he got hurt up in Pittsburgh.
Well, the numbers since then have not been good. A 7.30 ERA, and take a look at that. 30 hits and 14 walks in 24 2/3 innings. Man, is that a lot of base runners. So here we go to the 4 keys to pitching success for him today, and it has to do with number 1 with walks. 16 walks in 24 2/3 innings. 8 walks in his last 2 starts, 4 each. So he's got to prevent that from happening today. And could he be the stopper? Braves have lost 5 in a row. They need somebody to step up, pitch a good ball game. Maybe today Williams is the guy.
And as you mentioned a moment ago, he's got to slow down this Cubs juggernaut that, wow, 14-4 is Chicago in the month of August. They're averaging almost 6 runs a game and hitting .307 as a team since August the 4th. They are peaking at a real good time here at Wrigley Field. Dexter Fowler leads things off. Fowler 2 for 7 in the series. And he has been a terrific leadoff man for Chicago. He's getting on base almost at will. A lot of hits, a lot of walks, and consequently scoring a lot of runs.
And since the All-Star break, his on-base percentage is .447. That's 3rd best in the National League.
Fly ball, well hit right. Markakis is back. It's off the top of the wall. Fowler on second. He's going to end up at 3rd with a leadoff triple. The win saved Perez there, right off the top of the fence under the basket. A 3-bagger to start the game for Chicago.
Fastball that came back to the inner part of the plate. And on this play and in this ballpark, one of the things you've got to do as a second baseman, you got to go out there and track this. See this ball come off the brick wall? Well, that's a long chase for Nick Markakis. And that's one of the things that Jace Peterson's got to do is go out there to be the relay man, number 1. And when he sees that come off the wall and get by the outfielder, he's got to go get it too.
Another 10 feet away from Nick, and Fowler might have been coming home. So immediately Perez in trouble with Kyle Schwarber the Chicago left fielder up there. Schwarber starting his 14th game in left field for the Cubs. And he's been a terrific hitter. Already 10 homers. Perez missed to him. 2 balls, no strikes.
That's 9 extra base hits now for the Cubs in this series. 2 games plus 1 batter. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 homers.
Perez painted a corner. 2 balls and a strike. Dexter Fowler's 7th triple. Perez will work out of the stretch. And foul away left side. 2-2. Schwarber did real good work against the Braves in Atlanta. He's found the going a little tougher the second time he's faced the Braves staff. He does not yet have a hit.
They've pitched him really tough. Hard in, soft away.
Let's see what Perez does. 2-2. Pulled into the stands. Foul. Burly batter versus a burly hurler here in the first inning. And that's upstairs, a full count. Chris Coghlan is also blistering hot. He's on deck. And outside ball 4. 1st and 3rd. Nobody out. No changes for the Cubs starting lineup. Joe Maddon's smart man. Why change something that's working? Coghlan has been rolling in the number 3 spot in their Academy Sports starting 9. Their pitcher hits 8th to protect Russell and give their 3, 4, 5 guys more RBI opportunities, and that's been happening in this series too.
You're right. Why change anything?
Another walk for Williams Perez. Here's Chris Coghlan. 4 homers in his last 6 games. 15 in total for the year. It's been a pitch, strike 1. He'd love a strikeout here and then a chance to get Rizzo to roll into a double play.
Well, if there's one thing about Williams Perez that we've noticed and learned about him is that he's not scared. Nothing seems to bother him. He doesn't panic. Certainly not intimidated by any situation.
Bounce. That's a foul ball. Freeman was thinking about maybe making the play at first and nailing Fowler at the plate. But it was foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That would have been ideal, wouldn't it?
There's the strikeout. Coghlan went fishing. Good changeup from Perez. And now the double play could get the Braves out of first inning trouble.
Turned this one over beautifully. He's got a good changeup. It's just a matter of him being able to locate it, and that was ideal.
Rizzo's hit into 7 double plays this year.
24 homers, 74 knocked in for the Cubs first baseman. There's a ground ball. Bad hop. Freeman thought about coming home. Couldn't make the play. He gets Rizzo, but Fowler comes home, and the Cubs have scored first. That's a shame.
That was a real shame. He's so sure-handed and very upset with himself as he's watching the big screen to see maybe how he could have played that differently.
So Fowler scores another run for the Cubs. Rizzo picks up his 75th RBI. Schwarber at second for Chris Bryant, who's 1 for 8 in the series. Strike one. Cubs have scored a first inning run in the last 2 games now in the series. Broken bat. And the throw to first in time retires Bryant, and Perez did a heck of a job to limit the damage to only 1 run. Chest to Freddie Freeman turned into 1 out, not 2, and Fowler scored the first run for the Chicago Cubs, who offensively, Joe, have everything going their way in this series.
Well, look, the hits are almost even, but it's the type of hits the Cubs are getting that are making a difference in this series. Now with 2 triples to go with 4 doubles and 3 homers. The Braves have 2 doubles. One, the 2-run double by Markakis in the 4th inning yesterday, and a pinch hit double by Nick Swisher in the 9th. That's it.
A.J. Przinsky will try to start something in the second. And he does with a first pitch single.
Where's the shift?
A.J.'s going to try for 2. Soler loads up, throws, and A.J.'s in safely. It's a double for Przinsky, not a single. There's an extra base hit.
All you had to do is ask for it.
Well, could you do it a little more often, please?
Yeah. Went down and got what might have been a split finger pitch that stayed up. They've been shifting on him on and off the whole series, and there's one where they didn't, and it cost him.
Adonis Garcia bats. He is at 237 with 4 homers. He's knocked in 8. Strike. No matter the direction of the wind here, there is a wind tunnel at Wrigley Field. It's left center field, even if the wind's blowing in. I'll be interested to see how the big scoreboard affects the wind patterns in left. That's the first year that's been here. That is a big, giant wind blocker, you would think. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. In this series, the Braves have 1 hit in 18 at bats with a runner in scoring position. Fly ball center. Dexter Fowler charges, makes the play. And no advance for A.J. Przinsky. 1 out. Here's the Cubs defense. As we said, don't change it if it's not broken. Soler, Fowler, and Schwarber right to left in the outfield. Bryant and Rizzo on the corners. Russell and Coghlan the double play combo. And Miguel Montero is in harness behind the plate. Cubs are in the middle of what Joe Madden calls Legion Week. No batting practice, no extra work. Trying to get them ready for a hugely important road trip and the September push. Next on the docket for the Cubs, a trip to San Francisco and the Dodgers.
I'd say they're swinging the bat pretty well for not taking on the field batting practice for about 4 days.
And a strike for Nick Swisher, getting the start in left field today. Nick's dad Steve used to play here with the Cubs. No balls and a strike. Didn't get it. It's 0-2.
Aaron has a 2-seam fastball that he can sink. He's got a curveball that's a finger up. It's like a knuckle curve, slider, and a split finger pitch that he uses for a changeup. He's won 150 big league games. 3-time All-Star. And he's now 17 away from 2,000 strikeouts.
Fly ball, well hit. Swisher deep to left field. Schwarber's not getting it. Nick Swisher hits it to the wind tunnel, and the Braves have jumped in front. A 2-run homer.
His second homer is a Brave. The Braves did take batting practice on the field today. Pays off for Nick as he gets one belt high, and that's the 28th homer given up by Dan Herron.
So it's 2-1 Atlanta for Jace Peterson. Braves second baseman batting 7th today. Well, that had to be a great trip around the bases for Nick. Some family history in this ballpark. And a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Keep in mind, he was pitching for the Marlins up until 3 starts ago, and that's not a home run friendly ballpark.
Check swing by Peterson. Russell at the second base bag makes the play for the second out. Or maybe the sculpture distracted him.
Could be. Would distract me a lot. Gives up a lot of homers. He doesn't compound it typically with a lot of base runners by way of walk. He only averages 1.7 walks per 9 innings. 28 on the year in 146 innings. Gorgeous day.
A shot off the glove of Coghlan. Russell will play the carom but has no play. And Coghlan commits an error. That's his first error this year. Remember, though, much of his time was spent in the outfield for Chicago.
Did that ball hit off of Herron first or just off the slope of the mound? It took a funny hop near the mound. Maybe it imparted some funny spin on it when it got to Coghlan.
So at the least it clears the pitcher, Williams Perez. Goes 2 for 18 at the plate. It's fouled back to the screen. Cubs have to tighten things up a bit defensively. They do have a young infield. Bryant 15 errors, Russell 12. And they've committed 6 errors in their last 7 games. 0-2. And a swing and a miss ends the inning. Steve Swisher hit 9 career homers as a Cub at Wrigley Field. His son Nick just hit his second. And it puts the Braves in front 2-1 heading to the home half of inning number 2.
The Cubs had taken it. The Braves got it right back thanks to his home run. You know, it's funny, you guys talked about Nick's dad, Steve, who played here for the Cubs, made his debut for the Cubs on June 14th, 1974 here at Wrigley Field. And he had his first hit in that game. But it's funny because when I was talking to Nick Swisher in the clubhouse earlier today, he said, yeah, you know, after I had my hit last night, he had the pinch hit double in the 9th. He said his dad texted him and said, hey, it's just about 41 years ago to the day that I had my first hit at Wrigley. So the dates don't exactly match up, but it's still kind of a cool story. And I guess his dad has been a big part of his career the entire time for Nick. So just, you know, you take any little connection you can get, I suppose, right? And it carried through to today.
And a perfect time for it, Jim. Braves enjoy a lead.
I'm pretty sure Steve Swisher was their first pick in the draft in 73 or 74. See if I can find that.
Out of Ohio State, Cubs, Cardinals, and Padres, 1974 to 82.
Got that draft choice?
Let's see here. Debut June 14th, 74 for the Cubs. We're told he was the 21st overall draft pick by the White Sox in 1973. Was traded to the Cubs with Steve Stone for Ron Santo.
There you go. Historic trade.
Holy cow. 1 ball, 1 strike. The catcher, Miguel Montero. Montero's had a nice series. 3 hits, 2 RBIs. AJ trying to snatch a strike. 2-2. Good pitch by Perez. He strikes out Montero. He's got his second strikeout of the game. And he'll face Jorge Soler.
And he's got the lead. so he can feel a little better about that leadoff triple and the run scoring. And so can Freddie Freeman, who thought he might have been able to prevent that run from scoring in the first inning defensively.
Braves trying to hand the Cubs only their 11th loss in 59 games played, in which the Cubs have scored first. But as Nick Markakis said about yesterday's game, you got to keep adding on against this team and in this ballpark. Swisher's home run makes it 2-1, and Soler bounces one foul at third, and it's even. Base hit up the middle.
I like this guy too. I know he probably plays a little wild, but the ball jumps off his bat. Good swing there, keeping his hands inside the baseball. He's a long strider. He's got a good arm. Going to continue to probably get better in right field. Needs work. But a good looking young player to go with all the rest of them with the Cubs.
They have a wonderful hitting resource that works unofficially with Joe Madden and his staff. Manny Ramirez was with the Cubs. And remember, he was a player with them in AAA. I think it was last year before he hung them up as a player. But there's some who say, I guess it's choice A or choice B, Manny Ramirez, Albert Pujols, best right-handed hitter of their generation. Well, Joe Madden's got Ramirez to teach Chris Bryant and Soler and others how he got it done for so many years at the plate. And swip foul by Dan Herron, batting 8th for Chicago. No balls at a strike.
John Malley is their hitting coach, and their assistant is Eric Hinsky.
Aaron rolls toward third. Adonis has it. And throw first in time. There's out number 2 for Addison Russell. Let's check out the Braves lineup for the ball game today. Starting in the outfield, Swisher, Maben, and Markakis. Freeman, Peterson at second. Simmons, Garcia left side. A.J. Brzezinski back behind the plate. Well, there's a tough cookie in the number 9 spot. Addison Russell's knocked in 32 runs. 20 of them have been 2-out RBIs. Fly ball center. And Cameron couldn't get it. Ball drops in front. And the game is tied at 2. A first pitch single by Addison Russell.
How many of his 33 have come with 2 out?
21 now.
Big swing, but he got jammed trying to fight it off. Looped it in.
So the Cubs, with single runs in the first 2 innings, have tied it up, and Dexter Fowler is the batter. He tripled high off the ivy and right his first time.
I know it seems rather insignificant, but just the fact that Herron made contact and hit that little slow roller to third made a difference here. Got the runner to second. Allowed him to score.
We talked yesterday about how the Cubs don't really like their pitchers to sacrifice, don't like them to bunt. Herron's been around the block a long time, knows how to moderate his effort if he makes contact. Didn't sacrifice, but that was as good as one. And moving the runner up helped him get the game tied at 2. One ball, no strikes for Dexter Fowler. change. He didn't get it. Swisher having some fun with bleacher fans in left, it appears. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the things that makes Williams' changeup so effective is that quick jump at you with his motion. It's a long arm action, and then the ball just floats up there about 79.
Dangerous pitch. 3 balls, 1 strike. And it's a base hit to left. Russell around second. He slams on the brakes. Swisher throws back to the bag. And Russell's in safely. Fowler's 2 for 2. He's got the triple and single. And now Schwarber's going to hit with 2 out.
Nice piece of hitting again by Dexter Fowler, going with the pitch.
Dexter Fowler ought to be smiling. He's having a fantastic first year with the Cubs. He's a great kid. At least I'm really happy for him here with the Cubs. And downstairs, blocked by Przinsky. 1 ball, no strikes.
Tremendous high school player at Milton High School. Alpharetta.
It's been his best pitch.
Yeah. And he's keeping it down. It's always good when they're swinging at it and missing.
One. Fly ball hammered toward Markakis, and the wind knocks that down. And that will retire the side. A run on 3 singles for the Cubs. They've tied it up. Top of the Braves orders coming up in a 2-2 game. At our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot, as we mentioned in our opening comments, Nick Markakis has been terrifically consistent from the opening bell this year.
And how about leading off innings, which he's doing here in the 3rd inning? Best in the major leagues hitting or having an on-base percentage of .422. It's kind of what you want out of your new leadoff guy.
So Dan Herron's back to an even score. Marquez Maben and Freddie Freeman coming up for Freddie Gonzalez. That's a strike. Fly ball to right. Soler back. Fowler joins him, and the wind's going to push it to Dexter Fowler. There's the first out.
Tracking that one all the way, that one really was being pushed by the wind. It didn't slice. It was, as you said, blown over to Fowler.
And you saw the challenge for Nick defensively in the final out of the Cubs second inning. That ball was really hit hard, but he had to come charging in as it started to sink in the right field pasture. As I said in the first game of the series, there's no ballpark where the outcome is dictated more by Mother Nature than this one. Many times. And the perception is Wrigley Field is a hitter's paradise. It's not. More often than not, the wind blows in or across, like today. First two games, it was blowing out. Foul back. 0-2 for Cameron Maben. Aaron's been a strike throwing machine. He's thrown strike one to 9 of his first 10 hitters. It's downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Russell at short. Got the big hop. Nice throw. 2 outs. And once again, the Cubs will shift for Freddie Freeman. It's Chris Bryant, the third baseman, who will move into shallow right and play the rover. Ball 1.
One of the hitting groups today included Freeman, Marquez, and Brzezinski. And before they started hitting, they did a little bunting. Each one of them bunted 2, 3, 4 balls. And I thought that was a good idea. I think it's something they routinely do, but today, especially with the guys being shifted against quite often, not a bad idea.
No need for a pitch clock with Dan Herron, is there?
No. No, his games are routinely very quick. The one he pitched against Atlanta on April 15th was 2 hours and 25 minutes.
That's poked toward the Braves bullpen and foul. 2-2. Might be the last year you see the bullpens in foul territory here at Wrigley Field. There's talk that they may move them underneath the brick walls as the renovations continue here at the ballpark. Jen's going to have more on that when we come back for the Cubs half of the third inning. This is a gigantic construction site. Freeman reaches out, smacks that one toward Dexter Fowler. He's got it. Easy inning for Dan Herron. 3 up and 3 men down. General report from Wrigley. 2-2 game.
Talked about not too long ago. One of the more interesting facets here at Wrigley is where our relief pitchers get to sit. The bullpen right here, right in front of the stands, and this is the only ballpark where it's still like that. And you're right, Chip, they are planning to relocate the bullpen out temporarily. They're thinking to where the batting cages are in the outfield. Now, that was supposed to happen next year. I've been told that may get pushed back a little bit because they have to make sure they've got the batting cages set up for both teams.
Great play by Simmons to retire Coughlin on the first pitch of the third inning. Yeah, that's the one thing that they have to worry about. There just isn't space. That's why the big-time construction project on the third base side of the ballpark is so important. They are digging out underneath the street level, building the new Cubs clubhouse, new training facilities, weight rooms, new locker rooms, and all of that. They think that's going to be ready to go next year. And that has to happen. There just isn't enough modern amenities for the players to prepare properly for the games in this old ballpark.
One of the cool things that happened at Wrigley Field several years ago.
First pitch popped up by Rizzo toward left. The wind's got it. Gone. Rizzo hits an opposite field homer. '25 homers, 76 RBIs for the Cubs first baseman Anthony Rizzo.
That pitch kind of tailed back to the middle of the plate, a little bit like the triple that Fowler hit. He's got power to all fields, especially in this ballpark. Wind may have actually helped that one a little bit, blowing across. I was going to say, one of the cool things that happened to Wrigley Field was the fact that it was placed on the National Register of Historic Landmarks. One of the worst things that ever happened to Wrigley Field was that it was placed on the National Register.
Right.
Because they can't do things to it. They can't, in other words, the wall, the ivy, a lot of the structure here is preserved as that landmark, and they're not allowed to change it.
Old foul by Chris Bryant out of play. Well, the Ricketts family, which owns the Cubs, are spending their own money to do all of these renovations and modifications of the ballpark outside the stadium proper. And so, yes, if you put the bullpens underneath the bleachers, you can't cut bigger doors into the ivy. I mean, you can't move the brick walls. That's the only viewpoint that the relief corps would have, would be out that door, and they would have some sort of a see-through screen out there. Man, you talk about a claustrophobic experience for a 9-inning game. Gads. Bryant hits one towards Swisher in left. He made a fine running catch. And there's the second out.
I was even thinking about the two wells, the one in left, the one in right. If they were able to enclose that area and take away the well, that's a space where it might be ideal for a bullpen. But I don't think they can do that either. They can't change the structure as it is.
Well, I think I know the answer to this from an outfielder's perspective. What's wrong with just leaving it as it is? I mean, I know you got the mounds to worry about and all that, but
yeah, it's been like this forever. Why change unless they're trying to add seats or something?
Which could be.
Yeah, I like that a whole lot better than hiding them under the right field and left field bleachers.
They did have an incident a few years ago when I was here with the Cubs. Chad Kruger had his cap stolen, and that led to an all-out Donnybrook down by the visitors' bullpen. He went into the stands after the fan, and it was game on between the Cubs and Dodgers a few years back. But by and large, pretty friendly down there when they talk to the bullpen guys. At least they remember to put in bullpens, unlike AT&T Park, when they built
it
the
works
Giants.
fine there too.
Right?
Yeah.
Ground ball to second, and Jace has it, and that's the inning. Anthony Rizzo is at 25 homers again for the Cubs. Hit it high to left, boys, and you'll have some fun. Cubs lead. As we move to inning number 4, A.J. Pierzynski will lead off for the Braves, and he's our Home Depot tools from the dugout.
Not too shabby for a guy who wasn't supposed to play every day, huh? Since July 5th, 344 average, 10 multi-hit games, top 10 in average over that span in the National League, and just doubled and scored his last time up.
They didn't shift, as you noticed. Let's see if the Cubs shift a second time up. Apparently not. Maybe Joe Madden doesn't want A.J. hitting the ball the other way in this wind tunnel to left. He did, and it's slicing toward the gap. Fowler got over, cut it off quickly. Pierzynski with a long single. Nice play by Dexter Fowler, knowing that Schwarber is a catcher by trade.
There's not too many guys that could have cut that one off, Chip. Would have taken somebody with a lot of speed. Nice piece of hitting on that breaking ball. Boy, that was impressive. This is a double in most cases. Nice play by Fowler.
So A.J.'s 2 for 2. Here's Adonis Garcia. Popped out. So back, strike one.
I thought we'd see Siriaco again today. Pedro had a good game yesterday. 2 for 4. One of the outs was a line drive out to right. Scored a run. Stole a base. And Adonis has cooled off a little bit. He's 2 for his last 14.
One ball, one strike. Line drive to left.
That'll fix that.
Braves will play it station to station. 2 on, nobody out.
Now, A.J. hit a good pitch. Some of the other pitches that have been hit hard so far have been mistakes. And that was a mistake. That one had, that slider had nothing on it.
Two home runs for Swisher now in a Braves uniform. He's done that in 26 at bats. He had 2 homers and 101 at bats with the Indians. Outside, ball 2. 4 o'clock here in Chicago. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. Spending some time this weekend with friends and family. Joe and Chip with Jen Hildreth from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Game 3 of 4. Back home Monday night for the Colorado Rockies. A.J. and Garcia, the Braves base runners. There's no one out in the inning. Wonder if on a day like this, knowing how well the ball's carrying to left, if a hitter can eliminate the outer half of the plate. If Aaron pitches it that way, Swisher has hit it that way.
I would say no, because they trying to negate his power to begin with, and he hit a pitch that was up.
Popped up. Bryant searching for it. Still searching. He makes the catch. That was an unsteady grab for the young third baseman, but he made it. And Swisher's retired for out number 1.
And as we were watching, you would see Travis Wood loosening up in their bullpen. The challenge now for Bryant and for Russell is that they got to take just about anything popped up out behind them, because Schwarber, with all due respect, he hadn't been around very long, and he's a catcher by trade. So they got to go out a lot farther than they're used to.
Chris Bosio's on his way to the mound. Wonder if there's something up with Dan Herron. inning breaks up. And we'll take a peek at today's AT&T Universe trivia question. Since 2005, Dan Herron has 144 wins. Who's the only right-handed pitcher with more wins since 2005? Notice it doesn't say National or American League, so it's throughout all of baseball.
Tim Hudson's always a good guess.
Great guess. Peterson pops it up. Russell on the run. The wind's going to push it toward the shortstop again. Anything hit to the right side, the wind's going to push it back toward the field of play. Anything hit to the left, the wind might push it into the stands. And Russell made a nice grab for out number 2. Braves are 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position today. 6 for 44 so far on the trip. Runs came on a Swisher 2-run homer that put them in front 2-1. Single runs for the Cubs in second and third gives them the lead. Now a ground ball to short ends the inning. Promising start, disappointing finish. 2 on, nobody out. Braves can't advance anybody. 3-2 Chicago. Great Ernie Banks, who passed away this past January. Mr. Cub, first man to have his number retired. That was his 500th career home run. It came against the Atlanta Braves. I believe it was Pat Jarvis who was the man on the mound for the Braves that day. Ernie Banks had his number retired on this date in 1982 and was also the first Cub to have a statue erected outside Wrigley Field here at the corner of Clark and Addison.
Don Sutton was telling me a story yesterday about how I don't think he was a rookie. I think first full year with the Dodgers, Walter Alston told him, "Don't throw on the side today. Our pin's a little used up. I may need you for 1 or 2 batters." So sure enough, bottom of the 9th, 3 guys on, Dodgers up by 3. Don was brought in to pitch to Ernie Banks. Don said it was the only 1-pitch loss I ever had.
Well, he did it to a lot of people.
He said he thought it went through the window of that building, that light-colored building out across the street.
And he's just was a great man, wonderful ambassador. Loved the Cubs, loved the city. Sawyer is retired for out number 1. Loved the game so much, he's the man that came up with the old saying, "Hey, it's a great day to play 2." And he will be missed here in Chicago, but certainly remembered forever, and that's how the Cubs honor him this year with his number encircled behind home plate.
Didn't he come up with the friendly confines too?
I believe so. And he was certainly right about that. Dan Herron hits. He bounced out to third his first time up and takes a strike. Anybody's ball game. Cubs lead at 3-2. Think about Ernie Banks, great shortstop. Then he moved to first base. At one point, the Cubs had the entire National League All-Star team on the infield. Becker, Ernie Banks, Don Kessinger, and Ron Santo. Strike 3 call. And Herron is retired. 3 strikeouts for Perez. 2 outs.
That was a good team.
But just couldn't get over the hump. Just couldn't get in postseason play. Heartbreaking year, of course, 69. They had the big lead over the Mets and couldn't hold it. Mets, of course, became the Miracle Mets that year. Beat the Braves in what was the first year of divisional play, and then won the World Series that year. Madison Russell, a 2-out RBI in the second inning. That tied the game at 2. He hits again with 2 outs here. And Perez is filling up the strike zone.
Yes, he is.
Strike 3 call. Perez gets the Cubs in order in the 4th inning, and he'll take matters into his hands. We get to the 5th.
Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Time for the 5th inning. Williams Perez leads off for the Braves. 3-2 game. Herron and Perez throwing a lot of strikes and working quickly. Herron has scattered 4 hits. One of them left the ballpark. That was off the bat of Nick Swisher in the second inning, if you're just joining us. Braves had a great chance for a big inning last time up. 2 on, nobody out, couldn't score. And now Perez down to his last strike. Strike 1 to 15 of 18 hitters for the Cubs right-hander. And he strikes out Perez. 1 man down in the 5th. As Joe mentioned, Herron approaching 2,000 career strikeouts. He's only 15 away now. Nick Markakis has popped out twice, once to center, once to short. And a strike called. Nick saw Dan a lot in the American League. He's 5 for 28 against him now lifetime, including a homer. Even count.
And for Nick, a lot of strikeouts against one guy. 8 strikeouts too.
Tap foul, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The windup of Dan Herron can be a little bedeviling for a hitter because sometimes it's a real long pause at the top of the kick and sometimes it's not.
That's slicing near the line and fair, and that's going to bounce into the stands. Nick Markakis with a ground rule double, and he's at second representing the tying run.
Again, Schwarber with very little range. Couldn't get there. A break for Atlanta with only 1 out.
Braves are 1 for 22 with Risp in the series. We'll see if Maben can improve upon that. He's 0 for 2. And here's the point Joe was just making. Look how quickly Herron delivered that first pitch to the Braves center fielder. Line over the glove of Rizzo and into right field. Soler's got it. Maben will stop at first. Markakis will stop at third. It's a good thing. Strong throw, and they're at the corners with 1 out.
That's a little more Cameron Maben like. Hitting that ball the other way. Last time up, he tried to pull an off-speed pitch and rolled over to shortstop. Nick couldn't get a good start on this because he wasn't sure if Rizzo was going to catch it. And there's that arm of Soler. Real nice, loose throwing arm. Wow.
Joe Madden's seen enough.
Quick hook.
Herron didn't like that. Jake Arrieta didn't like an early pull in the first game of the series. First and third with 1 out. Travis Wood will face Freddie Freeman. Herron out with a very quick hook for the Cubs. He's our AT&T Universe trivia question. Who's the only man with more wins than Dan Herron since 2005?
I'll stay with Tim Hudson.
I'll say Bartolo Colon, another former Oakland A. It's Justin Verlander. With the Tigers, he's got 153 of them. So Travis Wood, taken out of the rotation by the Cubs in mid-May, has made the switch to the pen. He's been much more effective in relief. He's got Freddie Freeman batting with one out. Woods' ERA slightly above 3 in 31 relief appearances. His ERA of 5.59 as a starting pitcher is why the Cubs made the switch.
Yeah, the Braves have seen him before. Freddie's 1 for 5 against him in his career. It's like nothing but cutters so far.
Swing and miss, 2-2.
Those 4 hits have been a major difference for the Cubs because of so many extra base hits.
Fly ball hammered center. Fowler on the run. Not getting that, baby. It's off the wall. 1 run scores. Freeman on his way to second. It's an RBI double and the game is tied.
Maybe the best swing he's taken since he's come back. High fastball. You might say that Freddie grilled this one. 47th RBI.
Chance for a huge inning. AJ's already 2 for 2 today. He's doubled, singled, and scored. 3 consecutive hits. No chance for Heron to win. He was taken out too early. But he could be tagged with a loss if AJ could bring home Cameron Maben here. Bouncy ball up the middle and off the glove of Coghlan. That's going to score 2 runs. The Braves have scored 3 times in the 5th inning and have taken a 5-3 lead.
I was watching ground balls in batting practice, Chip, and it was amazing the top spin that was generated on balls that were hit like out in front of the cage at that point. This one was the same way by AJ on what we showed today. Is a lot drier in front of home plate. It's not wet like yesterday. And that ball really jumped on the second hop that got by Coghlan.
Braves have 3 hits with a runner in scoring position in this inning. They had 2 hits in such situations in the first 2 games. And now 5-3 Atlanta game. Pitch to Garcia. He's outside. If Ed Mangan were here, he could tell us if the grass is thicker or more lush than normal or not. Many times you'd see that second bounce just get sucked up with the thick infield grass here. That time it didn't. Coghlan couldn't corral it. So the quick hook turns into a quick strike for Atlanta against Travis Wood. Garcia launches one into the second deck out of play. Still 1-2. Only one other National League game is in progress at the moment. That's in Pittsburgh, where the Giants have broken through in the 5th inning. They lead the Pirates 1-0. The Giants won 6-4 last night behind Madison Bumgarner. Swing and a miss. Garcia's retired on strikes, 2 out. That'll bring up Nick Swisher. He's our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber feature.
He'll switch around and bat right-handed this at bat, but his first at bat of the day was left-handed and went the other way to give the Braves at that time a 2-1 lead.
Up the way. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is the 8th time in the last 11 games that the Cubs starting pitcher did not go 6 innings. So Joe Madden hasn't had a whole lot of patience with those guys lately.
There's a shot deep to left off Swisher's bat. That one's gonna go and gone. Swisher hit one off the scoreboard, and he's going to stand at second base. That's got to be a home run. That's over the basket. They're going to review this. Nick Swisher's hit a home run from both sides of the plate.
Could Adrian Johnson have been looking at to see that it bounced back onto the field off that scoreboard?
That's a good 6-7 feet above the basket. Yeah, it's a home run. A delayed trip around the bases for Nick Swisher. 1 left-handed, 1 right-handed. A 2-homer game, and the Braves lead 7-3.
Well, he just got a chance to get to second base and catch his breath. Fastball. Guys are teeing off on that fastball. Montero knew it was a problem. Bang, right off the 2015.
The Braves have scored 5 runs in this inning. They had scored 9 runs on the road trip before today's play. Nick Swisher has homered left-handed and right-handed today. He's got the double chop working.
Party.
We're searching to find out if Swisher's ever homered left-handed and right-handed in the same game. It is his 21st multi-homer game. And you know his dad's loving this. Nick Swisher with a 2-homer, 4 RBI day. Peterson didn't get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
These 2 homers he's hit are the first home runs hit by the Braves against the Cubs this year.
That smoke to short. Russell's got it. And the quick hook turns into a quick strike, as I said earlier. The Braves score 5 times. They do it on 5 hits. Nick Swisher with a laser beam homer off the scoreboard and right. A 2-homer, 4 RBI day. And Williams Perez has a big lead.
I had a chance to talk to him about how tough it is to pinch hit here, something he had to do yesterday, because he said it's crazy. There's no place to get loose. There's no place to run. There's no batting cage because the cages are out there in the outfield, and you're really not supposed to go out there once the game starts. So he said, yeah, you know, just kind of, hey, go get them. Well, apparently he really liked the chance to take batting practice today, because it's exactly what he did, guys. He's gone out there and gotten them from both sides of the plate.
And he is hearing it from the fans in left again, as a line drive off the bat of Dexter Fowler greets Williams Perez here at the bottom of the fifth inning, I should say. 3-hit day for Dexter Fowler.
When you're hot, you're hot. The same pitch he tripled on. Two-seam fastball coming right back to the center of the plate.
Williams could use a shutdown inning. The Braves offense just gave him 5 runs and a 4-run lead. Here's Schwarber.
He had a great fourth inning. A couple of strikeouts.
Williams has not won a game since coming off the disabled list. He's got an excellent shot today. Foul straight back. Even count. Balls at a strike. The importance of a lead this time of day and this stage of the game becomes apparent as you see those shadows. It's much more difficult for the hitters. Braves lead by 4, 2 balls and a strike instead to first. Lights have come on here at Wrigley to try to help minimize those shadows.
Good pitch. Pitch he might have swung at if he were behind in the count.
In the air toward left center. Maben says he's got it, and he does. A few steps shy of the ivy. And there's the first out of the Cubs' 5th inning. Here's Coghlan. Chris 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Simmons made a nice play to nab him to start the Chicago 3rd. Pitch. Coghlan took it.
I'm surprised he did, unless he was looking for something hard like that two-seamer, because that changeup was up a little bit. The two-seamer has had a lot of life today, but it keeps coming back over too much of the plate to left-handed hitters.
Anthony Rizzo waits next. He's already homered today. He's knocked in a pair of runs for the Cubs. And he'll hit with 2 men aboard and 1 out. As Joe mentioned, Rizzo has power to all fields. Take a look at his spray chart offensively.
Mostly a pull guy, but you can see a lot of hits in all directions. Tons in center too. That was a bad walk. Talked about too many walks as part of his 4 keys to success. And being ahead in the count and then losing him with this guy coming up. That was not a good one.
Rizzo homer down the right field line on an upper 90s fastball from Mike Foltynewicz. He hit one into the jet stream here in the 3rd inning for his 25th homer. And now he's behind 0-1. Towards center. Maben is there and makes the catch on the track. Oakland had to re-tag. He's going to belly flop into first safely. And Rizzo's the second out.
That ball was really tailing away from Cameron. Kind of like Fowler cutting off that hit from Krasinski. Maben, with his speed, able to continue to run that one down. He had to.
Chris Bryant is 0 for 2. Leading candidate for the Rookie of the Year award in the National League. Leads all National League rookies in runs, RBIs, and on base percentage. He's knocked in 69 men this year. Krasinski and Perez can't get together on the sides. And Peter Moylan begins to warm up.
Talk about all these good young players they have. Chris Bryant, just 23. Signed him out of college out of the University of San Diego.
More 20-somethings having a good year on the Cubs bench. Schwarber and Rizzo left to right on that last shot. That's in the seats. 0-2. Nice catch.
Rizzo just turned 26. Schwarber 22. Pretty good economy for him. No extended innings.
High down the left field line, fair ball. That's going to score Fowler. Here comes Coghlan to third. They're going to wave him around. The relay throw is going to be not in time. Coghlan beat the rap at the plate. A.J. Pierzynski wants the Braves to take a look. Atlanta might challenge the call. For the moment, it's a 2-run single by Chris Bryant.
Well, it was a great throw by Simmons. A.J. got the tag down. I don't. If somehow, some way, Coghlan got his hand in there quickly, it's the only thing that will save him. Curveball. He hasn't thrown many of those today, and he hung that one. Swisher got it in quickly.
And apparently there will be no review. So Coughlin apparently beat the tag.
On that replay, it looked like the tag was more like waist high. So the head first belly flop might have indicated his hand got in there first. And on the back of the arm.
So Perez can't get the shutdown inning. The Cubs get another big 2-out hit from Bryant, who took second on the throw. And here's another angle.
Yep, safe. Good call, Bill Miller.
So it's 7-5 Braves now. I said Bryant is single. It's actually a double for Chris. The ball hit in the corner. Another extra base hit for the Cubs. Bryant's 21st two-bagger. He's up to 71 RBIs. 2 balls, no strikes. Montero was thinking about a homer, didn't get it. Two and two.
Last 2 fastballs have been about the 2 best ones he's thrown in terms of velocity.
Wants the inning to stop here. Soler waits on deck. Moylan's ready. If Montero reaches, you might see a switch. AJ couldn't hang on. Tough break. It was in the glove, popped out of the webbing, and AJ spikes that ball toward the Braves dugout.
Oh, right in the web.
So another 3-2 pitch. Headed for the corner. Bryant's going to score. Montero on his way to second. The Cubs just won't quit. 3 runs after 2 are out. Montero has doubled again. That's 4 straight starts with a 2-base hit, and Williams Perez cannot get out of the 5th inning.
Change up, and one that was not as good as any of the ones before. It was up. He'd gotten ahead of him with with fastballs. He'd thrown the ball by him, but left that change up right in the middle of the plate.
Cubs have 3 hits in the inning, but as Joe said, the key might have been the Coughlin walk. It opened the door for the Cubs. They've got a 3-run inning brewing.
This copyrighted telecast
2-out runs today. 3 of them have come in this 5th inning. It's now a 7-6 game. 2 outs, and Peter Moylan's on to pitch. And he fires a strike to Jorge Soler.
Peter pitched here last night. This is his 5th outing. Save that run.
Ball foul headed for the Cubs bullpen. Remember, you've got a catcher running at second base. And Miguel Montero. Jonathan Herrera is on deck. The 8th place is due for the Cubs next. That's the pitcher's spot. Might get pushed back toward Freeman. It will, and that will end the inning. Moylan puts out the fire. He does preserve that 1-run lead. It's now a 7-6 score heading to the 6th inning. In true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widgets, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. Got a 1-run game. 13 total runs after 5 innings. And our Coors Light cold hard facts. Well, the Braves bats have come to life today.
They have, and what's funny about it, I guess, is the fact that they've really pounded out some hits. Nick Swisher with 2 homers, 4 RBIs, 5 extra base hits total, 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position, and they've scored 7 runs, and they lead by 1. If it isn't one thing, it's another.
Yeah. Welcome to Wrigley. As Andrelton Simmons will lead off for Atlanta. Johnny Gomes on deck. He'll follow Andrelton Simmons. Wood got shelled in his 5th inning work. Let's hope for more of that here in the 6th. That's a little low. 2 balls, no strikes. Shadows are lengthening. The lead has narrowed to 1. It's inside for Simmons. 3 balls and a strike. Line to the right side. That's a base hit.
Another sweet swing from Simmons. Solid.
And that's going to be the end of the line for Travis Wood. Wood surrenders his 4th hit. Atlanta looks to add to the lead, 7-6, 1 on, nobody out in the 6th.
Braves and had a chance to talk to Andrelton. Joe, you mentioned a couple times that when he is swinging it well, you can really tell it looks good. And I asked him about that, what he feels is working when he does have a good swing at the plate. And I love the word that he used. He said, I've got to keep my hands quiet. I'm not as good when they are violent. And I asked him about that. He said, yeah, they just get erratic. I move around too much. So I need to try to keep them calm, keep it smooth. And I try to remember that when I go up to the plate.
He's been doing that a lot lately, Jen. It's really paying off for him. You saw those good numbers his last 10 games.
Here's former Oriole and current Cub Tommy Hunter, the 3rd pitcher for Chicago today. They got him on July 31st for outfielder Junior Lake. Look at the 8 men that comprise the Cubs bullpen right now. 7 of them have at least 1 save this year, including Hunter, who got one in his Cubs debut. 1 ball, no strikes for Johnny Gomes. That's outside. 2.
Johnny's 0 for 2 against him in his career. The shadows have got to be pretty tough right now.
In the old days, when the Cubs would play a 1 o'clock or a 1:20 start, this would usually be 9th inning time. You'd have Lee Smith coming in throwing 98 in these conditions. Go get him.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hunter's quickly gone. 3-0 to Gomes. There's a strike. He was on his way to first base.
PNC Bank Fox Tracks. Lowest point it could have been.
That's how to play a foul. Missed it earlier today. The Braves did make a trade today. They sent Eric Young Jr. to the Mets for cash considerations. Eric had started the year for the Braves as the opening day center fielder and scored the game-winning run against the Marlins down in Miami. They've been doing good work for the Braves at Gwinnett. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes. Strike 3 call. Throw to second is into center field, and Simmons is on his way to third, and he'll make it without a throw. Second throwing error by Montero in this series. And the Braves have a runner at third with 1 out after Gomes struck out.
Good pop-up slide here by Andrelton that allowed him to recognize the ball had gone through and that he could keep going. Best slide in baseball.
Eight errors by Montero. Now the Cubs infield will play in for Nick Markakis, who doubled and scored in the Braves' fifth. And scored 5 runs in that inning. Trying to add on here, leading 7-6.
Nick 2 for 7 with a double off Hunter.
Former teammates with the Orioles last year. Hunter spent some time as the closer for the Orioles, had 11 saves. Air toward left, but that's headed for the seats. 0-2. Power arm for the Cubs. That pitch was at 98 miles an hour. Good stop. Montero had about 10 of those yesterday.
Yeah, he may have been throwing a few into center field, but he hasn't let any get back to the brick wall.
Chopped into the first row of seats. Foul, still 1-2. Popped up. Soler in right. Will the Braves challenge his arm? There's the catch. The runner's tagging. He's going to come halfway and has to scamper back.
It's a good idea to make him get in a position to throw, and he caught that real flat-footed, but he was not very deep. And with his arm, that was like playing catch.
So Nick pops out for the second out. Let's see if Maiden can pick him up. Strike call. Line drive, center, pod. Fowler's going to rob him again. Maven has squared up a couple of balls, and he's lined them right to Dexter Fowler. No luck for Cameron or the Braves in the 6th, but Atlanta still leads. Hit Swisher deep to left field. Schwarber's not getting it. There's a shot deep to left off Swisher's bat. That one's gonna go and gone. Nick Swisher's hit a home run from both sides of the plate. Double chop for Nick Swisher. Those home runs are Toyota key plays of the game. A homer lefty, a homer righty. Part of a 4 RBI day for Nick Swisher. 14th time he has homered from both sides of the plate. That's most among active players. Mark Teixeira is tied with Swisher in that category. In fact, Teixeira, the last Brave to homer from both sides of the plate. July 20th, 2008 against the Nationals.
Here's a guy who could use a good outing. That's Mark Sperry. Got roughed up in San Diego, and with a 1-run lead, needs to pitch well and hold the Cubs right there. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, and a walk in San Diego.
So Joe Cristinorfia leads off and is quickly behind 0-2. Touched Travis Wood for 3 runs, 4 hits, and 2/3 of an inning. Orpheus down on strikes. An excellent start for Mark Sperry. 1 out.
It's 6 strikeouts for Mark Sperry in 9 2/3 innings, so he's racking those up. But also the walks and hits plagued him, and that's what happened in San Diego.
Fly ball well hit center. Maben back up against the ivy. Not going to get it. It's a home run for Addison Russell, and we are tied at 7.
Was that the first pitch? Fastball knee high down the middle. If it was the first pitch, he has been teeing off on the first pitch, and it was. The damage he's done to the Braves in this series. That's 2 homers, a double, RBI hit today, all early in the count. Braves still wondering if that really was a homer. Freddie Gonzalez out to ask.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained for the Braves. A couple of games ago when the Tigers were in town, they had a challenge off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. A Tigers fan actually reached out over the basket onto the field of play and brought it into the stands. It was ruled a homer, but on review it was correctly ruled a 2-base hit. Now the batter that followed Miguel Cabrera then hit a home run to make it academic.
I didn't know you could reach out that far beyond the basket.
So Freddie Gonzalez asked the umpires to review what would be called a boundary call. Let's see.
It's a fan reaching over, and then they kind of pitch it. Whoa! I don't know.
Yeah, you can see the hands go across that little yellow line that is the edge of the basket. Right. Watch the line disappear. There.
Yeah. That's across the line. I really did not know that you could reach that far. And affect the ball going into the basket or not going in.
So that fan's going to have a chance to text all of his buddies from the exterior of the ballpark because he's going to be pulled out of the bleachers for interfering with the ball in play. And it may have just taken away a home run from Addison Russell.
His hands definitely across the line.
Now the umpire's judgment, did the ball hit above where his hands were? Does that matter? We'll have to take another look. If it hits him in the forearms and it's only his wrists above the line, or over the basket I should say, I wonder if that would influence the call by New York. As it stands, it's a first pitch home run for Russell, but that's being challenged by Freddie Gonzalez. So to answer the question about how this ballpark plays with the big scoreboard in left and the wind blowing across, it doesn't matter.
No.
The ball is jumping to left and left center today.
Well, and it's something that these young pitchers have got to learn too, that when they come up, you know, we saw that tweet that Marksbury posted about throwing gas. Well, throwing gas up here, I mean, if you didn't notice from Fulton-Evich the other night throwing 98, 99 and the ball getting hit out of the ballpark, he just threw that pitch 95, but you can't throw 95 knee high down the middle. You've got to be able to locate.
Yeah, if you just throw gas, they're going to kick. Well,
yes, I follow you.
You get the point. So there's a very long review.
Well, I understand this one.
Yeah.
Because they may be trying to figure out, would the ball have gone in the basket had he not affected the flight? Bye-bye now.
Those fans must be related to Steve Bartman. Just a guess. And it looks like we're nearing a verdict. And the verdict is in. Wow, call stands. It's a home run. Either is inconclusive or on review where the ball hit the fan show that it would have cleared the basket irrespective of the interference. Let's see.
The hands are definitely over, but where was the ball? It's hard to tell.
Right.
He might have hit him in the forearm, might have gone out anyway. Hard to tell. But there was obvious interference with the flight of the ball.
So the Cubs today are 4 for 6 with 2 home runs on the first pitch. And they've tied it up. They've scored 5 runs in the 5th. But the Cubs have scored the last 4 in the game. It's 7-7 in the 6th. And we're back in the top of the order. Next to Fowler, who's 3 for 3 today. What New York is telling our producer Brian Woodrum, that was a crew chief review on the boundary call. Two balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3, froze Fowler, and that ends his perfect day at the plate. 2 strikeouts for Marksbury, and here's Kyle Schwarber.
Breaking ball. Good pitch.
Schwarber's 0 for 2 with a walk. Something off speed on the first pitch. Strike 1. And another.
I like the breaking ball.
Swing and a miss. Marksbury struck out the side, but not before Addison Russell ambushed him with a solo home run. His 9th of the year. The game's tied up heading to the 7th. Back and forth ball game here in Chicago. Braves trying to get on the board against the Cubs here at Wrigley Field. We'll wrap things up tomorrow. Here are your Chevron starting pitchers.
Matt Whistler 5-3 against Jason Hamill 6-5. Hamill had been traded away by the Cubs last year in the Samardzija deal to Oakland, but he's come back and pitching pretty well, quite honestly, with a .234 average against him. Matt Whistler has gone a few starts without a W. Maybe it's time for him to get in that column too. Long time since we've seen this guy.
Clayton Richard missed all of last year coming back from shoulder surgery. Richard was originally a White Sox draft pick, pitched with the Padres. Diamondbacks and the Pirates. Cubs acquired him on July 3rd.
We saw him when he was really establishing himself with the Padres.
Richard was an excellent athlete as a high schooler. Had a scholarship to play football and baseball at Michigan. Foul ball into the shift. That's what Richard gets a lot of when he's on. And the Cubs need that on a windy day. There's the first out. Richard, in fact, battled with Chad Henne for the starting quarterback job in 2004. He was their backup that year for the Wolverines. The following spring, he joined the baseball team, pitched well. He dropped his football scholarship after that 2004 season and focused on baseball full time, and here he is.
Anybody that can bounce back from shoulder surgery and come back throwing 93 like he's doing right now, well, you got to salute him.
High hopper, left side. Plenty of time for Bryant. And the former Mr. Football and Mr. Baseball out of West Lafayette, Indiana, Clayton Richard, has 2 groundouts to start the 7th. And a man who knows a thing or two about Indiana is getting ready for take me out to the ball game. Digger Phelps is to our right. He'll do the singing in a long time, we hope. Garcia, ground ball. Rizzo speared that. Richard got 3 outs very quickly. Time for the stretch in Chicago. 7-7 in the 7th.
And former Notre Dame basketball.
Tenth, when the Mets are in town, the first 20,000 fans will get a bobblehead featuring Braves pitcher Julio Teheran, presented by Grady Hospital. Get your tickets today by visiting Braves.com/tickets.
We've been doing a lot of this state baseball history.
Yeah.
You know what happened 5 years ago today? You sang the national anthem for the
Really?
7th inning stretch. Take me out the ball game.
Did so good they never asked me back.
It must have been quite an epic.
Yeah. I will tell you, there's nothing like that when they introduce you on the PA and all that stuff, and all of a sudden 38,000 sets of eyes turn and look at you. It's quite a rush. Digger Phelps did a nice job. And nice of him to remember Ernie Banks, whose number was retired on this date in Cubs history. Starlin Castro is going to lead off for Chicago. Castro for Coghlan. Mark Sperry back out there for the Cubs. And a strike.
It's not often that you pinch hit for your 3-hole hitter, but he's done it each of the last 2 days, almost like it's a strict platoon, which it hasn't been to this point.
To the left side, Anderson got a big hop, and Starlin Castro's the first out. So he will, in all likelihood, stay in the game and play second base, which is what he's done in the series already. And here's Rizzo. He's homered, he's grounded out, and he's knocked in 2 runs. Rizzo absolutely kills left-handed pitching. He has the highest on-base percentage of all left-handed batters. Versus left-handed pitching, the last man to do that was Barry Bonds in 2004. Lefty, righty, doesn't matter. This guy can really hit, and he's become a cornerstone here in Chicago.
Hit 286 last year, played in 140 of their games, 32 homers, 78 driven in. He's got 76 RBIs now.
0-2. This year, .336 average against lefties, 22 RBIs and 5 homers. For Anthony Rizzo. And he didn't see that pitch very well, and Mark Sperry has his 4th strikeout. Inning and 2/3 of work. And that'll be the last pitch he throws today. Freddie Gonzalez is going to mix and match pretty much the rest of the way in this game and probably the rest of the way this season. And with 2 outs and the base is empty, Atlanta is into its bullpen again. 7-7 game.
Braves baseball is presented by AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
World famous Buckingham Fountain in downtown Chicago. And fans, zombies, walkers, and the undead are invited to Zombie Night at Turner Field Friday, September 18th when the Braves take on the Phillies. Your ticket package includes a zombie survival kit, access to zombie makeup artists, and a pregame zombie walk around the field. For details, visit Braves.com. This is Edwin Jackson, former Cub.
Great numbers with the Braves. 3 outings, 4 1/3 innings of 1 hit shutout ball with 5 strikeouts.
Pedro Ciriaco checks in to play third base. Double switch for Atlanta. Swing and miss. Cubs granted Jackson his unconditional release July 29th. Prior to this season, Jackson was 14-33 in 58 starts with the Cubs. Got away from AJ. 2 balls and a strike. That's out of play, foul. 2-2 your count. Chris Bryant 1 for 3 with a double, a run, and 2 runs batted in.
Airing it out, 95. He has shown a really good, hard, tight slider at times, too.
To third, and Ciriaco is Johnny on the spot. Nothing doing in the Chicago 7th. We head to the 8th. The home run hit man Nick Swisher will lead things off. Road trip. It's a shame to score 7 and still have a tie game. And look at this amazing stat that our statistician Gretchen Keeney found for us.
That 14-4 looks pretty good until you see that in the previous 5 seasons, the Braves only had 3 losses when they scored 7 or more runs. So hopefully the 7 or more will be, and it's going to take more, will be enough today.
As we suspected, Starlin Castro remains in the game. He'll play second base. The Cubs go to their bullpen again. Their 5th pitcher of the day is Pedro Strop.
He had a clean inning in the 8th inning yesterday. 2 ground outs and a line out.
Swisher's had a great day. He's homered left-handed. He's homered right-handed. 4 RBIs. Takes a strike call. It's 0-1. Missed it 14th time in Swisher's career. He's homered from both sides of the plate. Tied with Mark Teixeira for most all time.
That's an amazing feat.
1-2. He didn't like that call. Pirates and Giants have a tie game. A low-scoring affair in Pittsburgh. 2-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. That game has enormous playoff implications for the Cubs. Now low.
Talk about a quick pitch. Woo! I mean, there was nothing more than kind of getting the sign and grabbing the ball and going.
Swisher down on strikes.
I mean, watch how he just, once he gets the sign, he puts his hand in the glove, but he's already stepping to the plate. You better be ready.
Chase Peterson's 1 for 10 in this series. He's hit the ball toward the shortstop all 3 times today. 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the 8th, 7-7.
Chase 4 for his last 23. That average about to dip into the 230s. He's out there every day, lefties, righties. I don't know if he's getting worn down with this long season. Seems like he's been trying to do a lot of pulling in the baseball. Home road splits pretty telltale also, but it just seems like he's been trying to roll over the top of a lot of pitches.
He played 123 games last year. There's 3 different levels in the Padres system.
116. This is number 117 for him this year.
Jays held up. That ball was in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cubs will have Montero, Soler, and the pitcher spot due in the 8th. That's foul past Terry Pendleton.
I think what I see, Chip, about him rolling over those pitches is that his hands are getting away from his body. So all of a sudden he's dragging the bat through the zone. That to me is pretty much a surefire sign of fatigue. Not able to stay inside the baseball like he had been when he was going good.
To second. Castro's got it. 2 men are out. Here's Andrelton Simmons.
We've been bragging on Andrelton and what a good job he's been doing to swinging the bat, and his swing is shorter. He's not trying to go out around pitches and hit them in the seats. He's waiting a little better. He is keeping his hands inside the baseball. He's trying to hit the ball to right center. And it's paying off.
He's the last Brave to reach with a hit. That came back in the 6th inning. And he's got another one. This one down the right field line and headed for the corner. Simmons thinking about 2. He is going to beat the throw standing up. And there's the go-ahead run for Atlanta. And Pedro Ciriaco's coming up with 2 outs.
Just great. It's just outstanding. I mean, he may have been even trying to find this ball after he made contact, not sure where it went. Stay hot.
Pedro Ciriaco's going to hit. This is not a pinch hit appearance for him. He checked in defensively in the last half inning. hopefully a similar result for Pedro, who's been one of the best pinch hitters for the Braves all year. And a strike, 0-1.
Stroke can't use that quick pitch now because he's got a runner on base, or else risk a balk.
Popped up. Russell drifts out. He's got it. And Stroke pitches around a 2-out double by Andrelton Simmons. 7-7. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
Edwin Jackson, the former Cub, stays in the game to pitch for the Braves. I talked to Edwin earlier this week about coming back here to Wrigley, where this was his home field not so long ago, last pitching here on July 11th. And he said, well, it's going to be interesting when I get out there. And I said, come on, do you go out there with a little chip on your shoulder? And he kind of laughed and said, hey, if that was the case, I'd have a lot of chips. I just try to go out there and get out, since, of course, Atlanta being the 9th team that he has been a part of.
That's great.
He moves downstairs to Miguel Montero as we begin the Cubs 8th.
Yeah, I would say, Jen, that he's past the chip on the shoulder problem.
That's out of play, foul. Braves like Jackson for a lot of reasons. 1, Georgia guy. 2, power arm. 3, multiple innings. And 4, he can work multiple innings multiple days in a week for you.
And he could start.
Yeah. One ball, 2 strikes.
What a good look there from that RoboCam behind home plate, a glimpse of what the hitters are seeing. Infield in the shadows, the outfield bright sunlight.
Fly ball center. Maben back at the ivy. Runs out of room. Montero hits it into the basket. You hit it to the 368 sign here on a windy day, and you can have a lot of fun. And that's exactly where Montero hit it, and the Cubs have come back to lead.
Fastball that he golfed. Down and away. It looked a little bit like the other home run that Russell hit in terms of a fan reaching over.
Now fly ball by Soler to left. Swisher back. That one is into the basket.
That one was not. That was a hanger.
The Cubs have hit 4 homers today. And the Braves could not hold a 7-3 lead. Chicago has scored 6 unanswered runs. 3 of their 4 homers have come on the first pitch.
And that's 7 home runs in the series in not quite a full 3 games. 7.
Jonathan Herrera is going to bat now. Rondon can get up in the Cubs bullpen with a chance to seal the deal in the top of the 9th. Foul in the Braves bullpen.
That ball Soler hit stayed in the air for a long time and was certainly going to be aided by some breeze when it was hit that high.
Detweiler's gotten up in the Braves bullpen. That's high to Herrera. Full count.
Feel that tonight, tomorrow.
That's hammered toward right center field. Markakis on the run. Wynn pushing that toward Maven. And Cameron was there for the first out. Here's Russell.
I would be mindful of his first or second pitch that he likes to jump on.
His home run went to left center. His 9th. He also added a 2-out RBI hit in the 2nd inning. He has 83 hits, hitting 9th this year, the most since records were kept since 1914. It's a miss. There's the National League. 9 spots usually the pitcher's spot. Rondon will have the top of the Braves order in the 9th. Siriaco to his left. And pegged the first in time. 2 out. Country superstar and Georgia native Sam Hunt performs after the game Thursday, October 1st. It's a free post-game concert brought to you by Coca-Cola and Delta Airlines. Tickets are going quickly. Get them now online at braves.com/Sam Hunt.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I don't think the shadows are really affecting the hitters too much.
No. At least not the Cubs. They've scored 3 runs. They've hit 3 homers since the 6th inning. The Braves have 2 hits since the start of the 6th inning. Dexter Fowler's had a terrific game. He's 3 for 4. That's out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Popped up to left. Swisher gallops in, and that little patch of sunshine makes the grab, and that retires the side. Back-to-back homers in the 8th inning by Montero and Soler gives Chicago a 9-7 lead going to the 9th. Superheroes to Turner Field Sunday, August 30th, when the Braves take on the Yankees. Ticket packs start as low as $25 and include your very own Braves superhero cape and inclusion in the pregame parade. Don't miss out on what will be a very special day at the ballpark. Go to braves.com/superhero today.
Fired up about that cape.
We'll get you one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Laser Baker or Chan will be working in the stats. We'll hook them up. It would just be a real good look for them, especially.
So Hector Rondon looks for number 23.
He got 22 last night or yesterday afternoon. Gave up a hit and a walk. But stayed out of trouble outside of that with a strikeout, a couple ground outs.
First pitch swing. Nick Markakis bounces to second. Starlin Castro handled a tricky hop. 1 out.
See how that ball jumped?
Yeah.
As soon as it hit the infield dirt, it popped. And he had to give ground and be very defensive about how he caught it.
Yeah, we're not seeing that crown effect from the dirt in front of home plate when the ball hits in front of the dish. It's very soft first 2 games. We'll see how the Cubs grounds crew and manufacturers are manicures, I should say, things here tomorrow. A strike to Maben. Cameron's 1 for 4 with a run scored. He's been on base 14 of 15 games. Dan Herron started for the Cubs, went 4 1/3 innings, got a very quick hook. Travis Wood came on, gave up 3 runs. After that, the Cubs relief corps has shut the door. They've gotten a lot of wins from their relief pitchers. Mid-20s in victories for the Cubs, who look for number 70 today by their relief pitchers.
Yeah, since Hunter came in with 1 out in the 6th, only 1 base runner allowed, and that was the double last inning by Simmons. But you know what? Offense showed up today. We talked about that at the beginning of the game, that it was time for the offense to do something. They were getting out hit. They were getting out extra base hit by the Cubs and by the Padres. Today they stepped up.
And that's the sad part. Usually you score 7, that's enough to win. But
yeah.
The Cubs hit 4 homers today.
7 runs, 11 hits for Atlanta.
Ground ball right side. And the Cubs have taken 3 in a row from the Braves. 9-7. They came back to win today. Atlanta led 7-3 in the 5th inning and could not hang on. The Cubs relief corps picks up its 29th win of the year. The Cubs have taken all 3 in this series so far. The Braves winless on the road at 0-6 and hope to salvage 1 here in Chicago tomorrow afternoon. 9-7 the final. 41,000 enjoy a 9-7 Chicago win.